Somebody puked all over the control tower. We have no idea who's going to come on next.
Now back to Deal a Meal with Richard Simmons.
Rated the biggest Who Cares by TripAdvisor 3 years in a row.
The fastest growing weight loss program in history.
That's right, it's our wise old pal, the medicinal leech.
What is it, people? That's right. But you know, I bet a lot of you out there are still wondering.
One, couldn't we find a better hot sauce name than that? And two, how many dicks did that sweater set me back?
You bet it does. Now listen, I know a lot of you are just eating too much now that the holiday seasons are here, and many of you are feeling guilty about it already.
But now's not the time for that. Butt chug that bar, you fucking lightweight!
Start using Deal a Meal, because with Deal a Meal you can lose weight permanently.
But it's not too late to make amends with your weight, sassy black females.
Deal a Meal divides the food groups into 6 colors of playing cards. Meats are red, veggies green, fruits pink, dairy blue, fats yellow,
And ass and
bread
pussy's brown. That
You
one's
start
just
the day with
obvious.
a set number of cards on the left side of your Deal a Meal wallet.
And yes, this
Every
went
time
over
you
a
need
lot
to
better
buy
in my
your
head
food,
when I
move
recited
the
to myself
appropriate
at 2 in the
cards to the
morning.
side. Right. When you're out of cards on the left, you're done eating for the day.
That's why you
With
start
these
using
cards,
these
you
at
can find the
11:59
calories
p.m.
without counting them. So does Deal a Meal really work? Tammy, what do you think?
Well, Richard, I remember the time my husband knocked his head on a beam heading up from the basement and cracked his skull on the steps. And I didn't call the ambulance, I just let him die.
120 pounds.
Praise Satan, that's enough pounds for a baker's dozen imps!
It really does work, and it can work for you. I use it, they use it, and 250,000 and counting use it. You should too.
I'll trade you your bone-in Kansas City strip steak for a bland, flavorless rice cake. This is non-negotiable, of course.
Our signals have crossed with the Spice Channel. We bear no responsibility for what your kids are about to see.
Did you know that every fatality you see here was its own separate bite of 87?
List of the commercial diving fatalities over the past 15 years.
Anyone who's a friend of
All
Dorothy
have
really
one
knows what
common
happened
cause.
January 86.
Delta P.
The name of my one-man
2
fraternity
out of
in
3
college.
Commercial
We only
diving
ever had old
fatalities
duels.
Involve Delta P. It is invisible to a diver, and it strikes suddenly, without warning.
So if you ever fart in your
There is
diving suit,
almost
prepare
no
for
way
hell to follow.
escape once it grabs you. Knowing what it is, where it lurks, and how to avoid its grasp is the subject of this video.
Next video is about how to avoid molestation from giant starfish. It's the phenomenon that happens when you successfully manage to piss out of the tiny little hole in an airplane window.
Delta P stands for differential pressure.
That's right,
Our
discrimination
discussion
against the
refers
concept
to
of water
situations
itself.
where the pressures between 2 bodies of water are dramatically different. In a situation like this,
You'll have
the
to break out
bodies
the
of
company's
water
industrial crazy
continuously
straw.
seek to equalize themselves. In this example, the body of water on the right wants to rush to the body of water on the left.
But the left
by
and right
means of
bodies
the
will have
pipe
to move up to
between them.
Canada to do
The
that.
pressure exerted on the valve stopping this water transfer can be enormous.
I really
depending on the
overestimated
difference in the
how
depths
much
of
of
the
this
water
I was going to
and
be
the
able to
diameter
riff.
of the pipe. If the difference between the depth of water is 50 feet and the diameter of the pipe is 10 inches,
I saw
the
that
force
one
of
meme where the
water
guy's head
exerted
came
on the
off, and
valve
I was thinking,
is
oh,
nearly
this would be fun to riff, but
1,700
no,
pounds.
it's just fucking math problems.
if the valve was suddenly opened and your arm was near, it would be sucked into the hole instantly.
Props on him using his
Trying
whole
to
arm
remove
down
your
there, if you
arm
know what I'm
would be
talking
like
about.
trying to lift a car completely off the ground with one hand.
Or getting precisely one
You could
pickle
only
jar
remove
open.
your arm if the pressures between the 2 bodies became nearly equalized. But at the pressure in this example, your body makes a perfect seal, stopping the bodies of water from equalizing.
So you're saying it's my
The
fault if I try to
formula
give an
for
octopus a
calculating
reach
the
around
force
in
of
there?
water through a hole at a particular depth is the area of the hole
Multiplied by a fluid ounces of cream
multiplied by
inside of
the
it,
difference
divided
in
by the
water
minutes it
depth,
took to fill said hole,
multiplied by
factoring
the
in the
PSI per
banana and
foot
hot
of
dog
water depth.
exponent.
or, in the situation just described, the 10-inch hole equals 78 square inches times 50
Times
feet
the
of
negative
water
50
depth
amount of times you have been
times
laid,
0.432
multiplied up by the number of nights you spend
PSI per
masturbating
foot
to the Pope
of
washing
freshwater
feet.
depth equals 1,685 pounds of water pressure.
Which means if you ever
If you
secure
are
a date,
diving in
you will
salt
blow a
water,
load
be
that will
sure to
reach the
use
center of the earth.
0.445 psi in your formula instead.
Gives it that bit of Mediterranean tang you've been
can't
looking
see
for.
or feel a delta P situation as you dive near it.
You fucking taste it
grabs you
with
suddenly,
complimentary
and it
breadsticks.
doesn't let go until the pressure is equalized. When it's got ya, it's got ya.
Play us off, Krabby.
As you watch
Pitch,
the
pitch,
following recreations of
pitch,
actual
pitch.
delta P incidents, ask yourself if you have, on occasion, ventured into situations without being thoroughly prepared.
It happens whenever somebody makes a Blue Sky account out of curiosity. Well, there's no need to use language for that.
Diver 1 enters the water behind the dam structure in order to clean the strainer of the dam's drain.
Now the second
When the
diver
drain is
turns to him and
cleared,
says,
the
"Hey,
tremendous
I bet I could
force
take
of
your underwear
rushing
off
water
without
through
having
the
to take
drain
off your diving
grabs
suit."
hold of Diver 1, sucks him partially inside, and traps him.
Remind me why we need to make
Diver
a giant
2
roach
enters
motel?
the water to help Diver 1 and becomes trapped also.
Fun fact, this will be the
Diver
quality of
3
Hollywood
enters the
productions
water
by
to rescue Divers
2045.
1 and 2, and after 40 minutes returns to the surface with both divers. They are dead.
Or just really, really
Diver
Mexican.
3 was hospitalized for injuries suffered in the rescue attempts.
You ever see a man's entire hand clip into his stomach? Luckily now he gets to high-five every tasty mozzarella stick he eats.
A scuba diver was repairing a pool bottom at a depth of 10 feet.
When an old
He came
Jewish woman
close to
swam
the
up to
open
him
pool
and asked him
drain
for
and was
$200.
drawn against it. His body made a perfect seal against the drain.
And now he was
He
ready to
diving
beat Lady
alone
Gaga
and
at her
had
own
no
game.
tender at the surface. No one knew he was trapped.
You told me to take
He
this
ran out
seriously
of
after
air
being a fan
and
of all
drowned.
these YouTubers for years. But did you know, like, water can get itself dirty? Bet you never thought about
Two
that.
scuba divers entered a water tower to unclog a drain.
They saw a big pair of
Using a
breasts in
fire
there,
hose
and they decided to
blast
leave it
away the
clogged.
silt and mud that was clogging the drain suddenly opened. A great suction immediately occurred.
5 minutes later,
Diver
he got
1
up from the
was
hole in the
pulled
stall
into
and
the
wiped
drain.
off his chin.
Visibility was 0. Diver 2 did not know that this had occurred.
Diver 2
Diver
always
2
looks out for
surfaced,
number 1.
Thinking Diver
That
1
certainly
had
ain't
already
Diver
come
1.
up. Diver 2 made repeated but unsuccessful attempts to find him.
You'll find him right next to the
Diver
Pixar
1
lamp,
ran
I
out of
bet,
air
but his
and
head was
died.
an eye and he stabbed it to
Neither
death.
diver was tethered to the surface, had communication with the surface, or with each other.
I don't know how, though. I mean, we gave him all the materials to make smoke signals. Offshore well, huh?
A
Looks like a
surface
guy wasted a
supplied
wish.
diver was working offshore in 86 feet of water on a well re-entry project.
Made with a
He
shoebox
was
and
using
dried
a
up
drill
Play-Doh.
string to hook
It
a
was the
trash
highlight
cap
of kindergarten
inside
for
a
him.
13-inch well casing. The first attempt failed to catch the cap.
Or maybe you should have done
The
more there
diver
than
was
just
asked
fucking
to
tickle
stand
it.
by the hole to make sure the string caught the cap.
And the cap caught the
He
cheese,
reported
and
when
the
he
cheese
saw
caught
the
the
cap
cat,
was
and the cat
hooked
caught
and
the
began
mouse.
to leave. The drill string was pulled to the surface rapidly.
And finally, he could retrieve
Because
his
the
ancient
cap was
sperm
nearly
sample.
the size of the casing, a great suction developed. As the cap came free, the rushing water grabbed the diver and forced
Him to
one
do the
leg into
stanky
hole
leg for
up
6
to the
hours
pelvis.
on end.
The diver was killed.
After one flawlessly hit gritty. Now you're gonna see a lot of strange people going forward. This isn't your average run-of-the-mill hole diddler. This
Diver
is
1
genuine
enters the water
bona
at
fide
a
Delta
hydroelectric
PP suck.
generation plant. His assignment is to seal off leaks in a large gate valve.
He spent
The
7 minutes
three-person
trying in
dive
vain
team
to
is
seduce a
assured
dolphin
by the
instead.
plant's operating personnel that the gate valve is closed.
On Sundays,
Diver
like
1
Chick-fil-A, I
surfaces and
think.
reports that he thinks the valves are open. The winch is started and closes the valve. A 30-inch sluice gate is manually cranked shut.
Don't know we could tell
The
because
dive
everyone in
team
this universe
questions
moves
the
like
plant
Thomas the Tank
personnel.
Engine figurines.
The valve indicator shows the valve not fully closed.
I don't know why
Plant
you nag me,
personnel
mother. I
reply
swear
that
I
the
turned it
indicator
fully
is
off. You
never
can't raise a
correct,
fucking
and
welch every
typically
time
the
I miss
valve
it
is
by just
cranked
a little
until
bit.
tight. Diver 1 re-enters the water, convinced that everything is okay.
Even though he bet
In a
both
few
his oxygen
moments,
tanks
he
on the
begins to
Chiefs.
scream. The dive supervisor
Looks
tries
like
to
an action
contact
figure that they
Diver
forgot
1
to
on
put the
intercom.
detailing on.
The tender and supervisor pull the lifeline and umbilical.
And to the mother's
Both
worrisome
have broken
relief,
from their
it was a
attachment
girl! More
The gates are
manipulatable.
cycled open while waiting for the rescue divers. 2 attempts by the company diver failed to locate Diver 1.
The diver, not without lack
12
of
hours
trying,
later,
couldn't count to
Diver
3.
1's body is recovered.
Don't drink any fluids? Avoid asparagus? Relieve yourself on a fire hydrant like your best friend would?
When you accept a new job, make sure you take part in a pre-job meeting.
Okay, mister, were you born in this country?
Be sure
No,
that you
no,
understand
but
the
they
layout
carve
of the
driver's
site
license out of wood. Right.
and how
For
the piping and
accommodations, how
valve
does
systems
sleeping in the
work
guitar
together.
case in my broom closet sound?
Back
The
in
diving
Mexico,
supervisor
I had
should
to
have a
leave and the chickens
simplified
behind
but
with 20 other
site-specific
guys.
schematic of the site
This is like
and a
Ritz
diving
Carlton to
checklist
me.
to make sure nothing is on or open that shouldn't be.
Did you hear the narrator? You are the legal
client
lever.
Mister, that's not what we were talking about.
Well, it isn't. There goes our fucking bottom line.
Also
I'm
needs
off
to
the
know
fuck
about
Ariel.
Delta P. If they take
So
your concerns
basic.
lightly,
I would have
make
picked King
sure they
Triton.
understand
I mean,
the
that guy is a
life-threatening
pallet
risk.
shaped like a dick. Oh, he got sucked up by the valve.
Always practice lockout, tagout procedures.
Mike Rowe has been sneaking around
These
this
are
place
tried
3
and true
times a
methods
week. He
that
must have
can
been attracted by the
eliminate
sewage
machinery and
levels of
valve
this place.
accidents if practiced religiously.
So make every son of a bitch smile for their sins.
Make sure to consider the potential Delta P
I
hazards
don't know why you're
of your
doing
new
that. Your
assignment
mullet's yet
when
to
choosing
grow
your
in.
equipment. Make sure others in the water and on the surface can tell exactly where you are.
It's why we
They should
make
be
you
able
wear
to
a giant
communicate
hamburger
with you at
costume
all
on top
times
of all of
and
that.
be able to get you out if you're stuck.
And we'll tell you to count backwards from 5 until you name 3 things in the deep ocean you're now trapped in.
Make sure your equipment won't interfere
With your greasy wet
or
Italian
become
hair.
fouled if you must be near a Delta P situation.
Okay, 5 minutes and
There
then we
are
gotta
certain
pull you out of
techniques
there.
that
See,
you
I
can
was
use
already
to help
anxious of the new
reduce
breeding
and
program with
even
you at the helm.
eliminate Delta P hazards. The
That's
first step
right, you
is to
bottlenose
recognize the
bitch
potential
covenant
forces
daddy.
working on each
You make
other
that
in your
little
environment.
tongue-clicking sound that drives me
Learn the
wild.
layout of the site and how the system functions.
So you're saying I no can have
Calculate
women
the
over
force
there?
of water
Or
at
yes,
the
I
depth
can
you're
have women
working,
over there.
based
Sorry,
on the
that's a
size
bed
of
of
the
bleached
openings
coral.
at that depth. Instead of cutting holes to drain water or relieve pressure,
Bashing in
cut
yourself with the
slots.
mighty swing of your
If your
testicles.
body or equipment can't make a good seal against the flow of water, you can't get stuck.
Or you might just bounce around the ocean like a
Fabricate
DVD
cover for the
logo.
drain that has a screen, or make a cover that has more than one hole a good distance away from the other.
Or you know what
The
I do?
idea is
I
the
don't
water
care.
can still get
That's
through,
all you have to
even
do.
if your body gets in the way. The goal of this video is to make you aware of the potential for differential pressure situations.
To bore you so
The
hard
key
your
is to
brain leaves your
recognize
body
them
and joins the
beforehand
French Foreign
and
Legion.
make sure you are prepared to deal with them. Because when it's gotcha, it's gotcha.
When you want it gotted, you gotta get it gotted.
Don't add
Got it?
your name to this list.
Because these are all fantastic dinner guests.